If your core can't stop motion, it has no business trying to create it. The core's job is to control, the ability to resist movement and stabilize under dynamic load. And stability is the ability to control change. But most people jump ahead without ever learning the basics. That's why I created the simple to follow core AMP or amp it up progression. As humans, we primarily move through 3 planes of motion. We have the forward and back sagittal plane, the side to side coronal plane, and the rotational transverse plane. So I'm going to teach you how to AMP or amp it up in all 3 planes of motion, which is quite simply A, anti-move or resist motion, M is for move, to maintain stability through motion, and then P for perform, for dynamic power and control. By going through this concept in this video with me, you will leave with a model to truly train your core the right way, so you're not just strengthening, you're actually dynamically strengthening, stabilizing, improving control so that you can use it in your daily life to move better, perform better, and feel your best. We're gonna start with the sagittal or forward and back plane first with the happy baby. So lie on your back flat, rib cage pelvis together, knees bent, and very simply, we'll bring our legs up into a 90-90 position, so 90 degrees at hips, knees, and ankles, relatively speaking. Once we're in this position, we simply want to hold and breathe here. So we have alignment, breathing, and now we're controlling an anti-move position. So this is the A of the AMP. If you're not familiar with alignment and breathing, go to our previous videos in this series to understand how important alignment and breathing is. So now that we're here, we're simply going to breathe into our abdomen, expanding, maintaining pressure as we hold here. There's different sets and reps you can use. Very simply, I recommend to start off Tabata timing, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, around 10 rounds, a great way to get some benefits out of anti-move. Move number 2 then is move. Now we want to control with stabilization, control movement. So I already have my anti-move move. Now we can simply add movement. So from here, what I can do is slowly add a heel tap, while keeping my back flat here. Using a rolled up towel underneath your back to feel that pressure can help you if you're someone that breaks alignment. So keeping my knee bent here, simply tapping as I go down and bring it back. It gets more challenging here, and I need to also be able to breathe through it. I can add even more challenge by using a weight here, and I can do some overhead reach. I can go tap, tap, reach. I can keep this at a 45-degree angle and do some taps here. Or if you're getting really bored, you can pretend your knee's like a crayon and you're drawing the ABCs up on the ceiling there. Really, you can do whatever you want as long as you have alignment, breathing, and you're controlling the motion. So you have anti-move, move. Next is P, performs, or amp it up even more with a goblet squat. Very simply, hold the weight up to your chest, and we're going to squat down, but also while maintaining alignment, right? So if I'm here, I don't want this, I don't want this, I'll be somewhere in between. Breathe, control the movement. So you should notice with the goblet squat, this position here, right, like this, is sort of like my happy baby position. So we took you from anti-move, move, right? But our goal is not to be a big baby and just be really good at core exercises on the ground. We want to use it on 2 feet. So a goblet squat is a perfect example of a functional exercise where you go from low level, medium to high. So the goblet squat is more of your performance level, but you're carrying over the principles of alignment here, breathing, and then controlling the motion. Next is the coronal or side to side plane. So for here, we'll start with a very simple side bridge exercise. So we'll get into an arm bar position here, shoulder away from the ear, knees bent, and we're gonna do a plank from the knees as opposed to the ankles. From here, you get a little bit more hip and core engagement. It's a simple one to execute. So very basic, right? The same thing when align, rib cage down over pelvis, breathe, just control the motion. Obviously, if this is too easy, you can bring it up to higher levels any way you would like to. After the anti-move, next we have move. So if we're already here, we can turn this and make it a little more dynamic by adding some motion. I love the side bridge runner. We're opposite arm, opposite leg on the top side. And really paying attention that you're not doing a bunch of this weird stuff here with the core. There's not a lot of motion in the middle, there's some, but it's more stable on the downside in the core while the top side arm and leg are moving, very similar to the principles of running, opposite arm, opposite leg. So the side bridge is our anti-move. we have our move, and so the next we can take it up to the performance level on 2 feet by simply doing a reverse lunge. However, if we want to get that stimulation on the downside, which in the side bridge was my right side core, I'd want to throw some weight onto my left side. So I can do I can hold by my side by like a front rack. From here we can do a front rack step back lunge. And by me doing this, I am working on stabilizing my core here to help me do this motion. The weight here wants to pull me this way, so I have to use this side of my core while I'm dynamically using my hip on this side to control this single leg motion here. So there's some great carryover here from anti-move, move, and then now to performance, where this matters in real life on 2 feet. Now we'll take the same AMP principles into the rotational or transverse plane. We'll start with a pal-off press in half kneeling, and that very simply is half kneeling where my downside knee is toward the anchor point. And if you don't have a cable machine, you grab yourself a band. And very simply, I'm going to take this and then hold it in front of my heart here. And then as my anti-move, I can hold it forward and just hold this. Breathe through it. Alignment, breathing control. Right, and this is challenging alone. 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. You do this for 10 rounds. Pretty challenging. You're going to feel it the next day. Now to amp it up to move, we're going to turn to a true pal-off press instead of a hold. So very simply, I'm going to do my heartbeat and then go toward the anchor point, rotate back to center. Heartbeat, and then rotate back to center. And I'm really focusing on rotating my shoulders and not bringing my lower body with it. I'm thinking my hips are stuck in cement, so I can really get some good controlled rotation. And then from here, I can amp it up to perform by going onto 2 legs here and just playing around with some speed variability. Or a nice one I like too is to do some press pull in there, because that adds some rotation as well. So if I do a split stance here and I just do a row, that's a fine maybe anti-move of my core, but if I really turn my shoulders, now I'm getting some really great rotation and I'm controlling this from my core, but I'm getting some good pull power here, and I'm having to use my legs too to stabilize and create motion through the rotational plane. And I can also do the same thing with a push as well. Getting some good rotational control. You're almost there. We learned core control via the amp it up progression of anti-move, move, perform. So in the next video, let's take everything we've learned and turn it into a full body core strength and stability flow.